Return of the whatever that stands for. Tom Brady has unretired.
Oh, you have to hate this so bad.
I bet. So I get it. Everyone's, we told you he's coming back. He's coming back. Apparently his wife can't take him at home anymore. That's just a nice little inside thing we've been saying here. But 23 NFL seasons is pretty good. And I don't know how the season will go, but shout out for Tom. Because, Aaron, I'll be honest, I think this one might be his last season. This might be his goodbye tour. And it'd be nice if he let people know that now. Because then you think the ticket prices are astronomical. They might break records if he says this is his last season. As for a person on Twitter, Chris Torello, who said Tom Brady never chose New England. He chose Tampa twice. No, Tom. What happened is he's still under contract with Tampa. We'll see if of course he's got to stay with Tampa. He's not going to demand a trade. Stop that. Because the 49ers are not going to do it, first of all. They're not. Kyle Shanahan trade up to get Trey Lance. It's not going to happen. As for Tampa Bay with Tom Brady, Aaron, this team's a lot worse now than when he left it.
That's a
lot. Guard, was the guard or the center retiring?
Ali Marpet, yeah, the guard did retire. Maybe he'll unretire. Maybe he'll come out of retirement to come play with Tom.
I just feel like my first thought was this is a big LOL on Adam Schefter. That was my first thought about this.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is Adam Schefter at the time. Again, I still thought it was the weirdest sequence of events with Brady retiring because, like I said, whatever you want to say about, the best play, the best quarterback of all time, best player, blah, blah, blah. You don't just go out that way. It just didn't seem right. Something just didn't seem real about it. And the way he just faded into the oblivion and, want to spend time with his family. You just knew a guy like this who wakes up every day with that chip on his shoulder. That just wasn't it. Now, as the month rolled on or however long he was, retired, I think he was retired less time than the MLB lockout happened.
Oh.
But, it's so good to see Tampa Bay. I understand, they're probably now what happens with Leonard Fournette, I don't know, because they can try to keep the core intact here. But, whatever happens, Tampa Bay and Tampa Bay fans, it's house money at this point. You were looking at situations where, as much as I like Kyle Trask, I don't know if he's ready. Blaine Gabbert returning was an option. Deshaun Watson was in the fold, in spots like this and drafting a quarterback. So many different options that none of them really sounded that great. You were kind of still like, now that, Tom's back, everything feels good in a division that now you can argue got even worse than it did, than it was last year, depending on who New Orleans decides to go with a quarterback.
They are aggressively pursuing Deshaun Watson.
Now,
so are the Panthers.
That could make a fun wrinkle if one of those teams get it, which I think if they do end up trading them, it does sound like those two teams are pretty much all in for, basically whatever the price tag says, we're willing to pay it at that point. It's just, for me, how I've, we talked about when he did retire, but and it just to me seems like I said, I feel like I'm just getting house money. I wasn't ready for this to be over. If it is the swan song, I would like to know. Like you said, I like to try to find a way to get to one of the games. But even though he's retired and unretired, we never felt like he should even if he comes back, do we really think he should retire? What if he goes out and throws for 5,200 yards and 40 touchdowns again? If he wants to keep coming back, who's to stop him?
So my thing with that is he's going to act. I hope people better hope he doesn't get injured. You talk about injuries before.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but this he's 44, dude. He's going to seriously regret it the more and more he plays. And my thing is, if for his kids is how slow do you want to be when waking up every morning now, dude? But it's gonna have to catch up with him.
With the rules in place to protect quarterbacks, it's a different animal in that spot. I get what you're saying. If he's a linebacker like Luke Kuechly, it totally makes sense when, that he's going to have problems, for the rest of his life. He's made that publicly, well aware. People are well known that Luke Kuechly has the neck issues. But, unless he suffers some excruciatingly devastating injury to like get him carted off the field. Like he'll be fine if he has, he stays healthy, stays upright. He's going to get some hits, but he doesn't take a lot of hits. Yes, he took obviously the gruesome hit in 2008 that tore his ACL, but you don't really think of a lot of more hits, and he's probably gotten even more and more smart as he gets older. So I get what you're saying, and a gruesome hit can backfire, but that can happen to anybody at any time on the field,
Right.
In any game. So I don't necessarily put too much stock into that one.
I hope he knows what he's doing. I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't, but I feel like Tom Brady just don't unretire because people wanted you to and then regret it later. I hope he doesn't regret it.
I just can't see a spot where he regrets it because, I mean, yeah, of course, people are going to say, you came out of, if they don't win the Super Bowl, people are going to say, oh, you came out of retirement and you couldn't get it done. Well, look, it's really hard to win a Super Bowl, but
play the game.
Yeah, but he's going to. We think with injuries they're going to make the playoffs, and then anything's possible. We'll see what happens.